English is very unique in that it's the international language. English is sought after by 1.5 billion learners and more because it creates opportunities for work, travel, and friendship in countries all around the world. But most learners are upset. It hasn't worked for them. And when I ask, why don't you speak English? They say, well, I learned some, but I'm scared to speak. Why would you be scared to speak? If you have a love for travel, you imagine yourself packing your bags, putting on your favorite hat, and speaking this new language while taking advantage of a new opportunity. Well, they tell me when I was in school, other kids started learning so fast. I wasn't social in school. Maybe I sat in the back and didn't even pay attention. By the time I graduated, I didn't remember any of the English that I had already learned. Well, I think that's partly due to big classrooms, a boring lesson plan, and the fact that we weren't engaged when we were learning the new language. So let me ask you, what do you love? I love basketball. I've been following LeBron James since I was just a kid. He gives me information about the world through his eyes. I get inspired by his great talent and the amazing things that he does on the basketball court. When I moved to Madrid, Spain, I started finding things that I loved in Spain, like basketball. I started playing basketball every day. And accidentally, while playing basketball, I started to learn new vocabulary, like, hey, pass me the ball. Imagine moving to a new country, not understanding the language. Somebody says, hey, pass here. And I didn't know what they were saying. Rather, I was just enjoying a sport that I loved. And by doing that, I put myself in a situation where I was able to acquire the language. Well, I'm not telling you to buy your ticket quite yet, but let's focus on some things that we love. When we focus on topics that we love or things that we're interested in, we're more likely to learn the language that's associated with it. That's why in this course, I selected one of my favorite things in the world, food. And luckily, I know an expert chef who can teach us all about it. So throughout this course, not only are we gonna focus on how to speak English, how to speak to native speakers, how to open yourself up to these opportunities, but we're gonna learn some other skills like cooking from a professional chef who's worked in various Michelin grade star restaurants across Europe. So this is what I'm gonna challenge you guys to do. Don't be one of the people that says, I'm scared, I'm nervous. We were all scared and nervous when we were speaking in front of 25 people for the first time in a new language, trying to pass a test so that we could graduate. Now, let's open up our minds and let's learn how to cook. Better yet, let's learn how to cook traditional Italian food. And while we do this, we're going to learn some key vocabulary and some awesome sentence structures that are going to help us in everyday life. Let's go.